the whole stadium knew that Darwin Núñez was going to miss. Like every single person in that stadium and every Liverpool fan knew that Darwin
Yeah,
Núñez, every single person watching that game knew that Darwin Núñez was going to miss.
yeah.
And my issue with situations like that is we have other players that, hello everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Today is just going to be myself and Andrew.
Welcome
And
back.
we're hoping to be the better duo than Kaide and Andrew. So we'll
Fingers
see if
crossed.
there's more synergy here. But Kaide is just away for
On
a couple of
vacation.
days on vacation, so we want to keep things going, and there's quite a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to Liverpool. We we just lost a final, and
Yeah.
I have to say that was probably one of the most underwhelming performances that I've seen from us this season. And yeah, like I'd love to get your take on it. I don't know if you're able to catch the entire game,
I,
but yeah, let me know what you think, Andrew.
what's funny? Like we were supposed to record immediately after church. So I was thinking I forgot about the finals. Like I had no idea. So
Hmm.
when you texted about the finals, I was like, oh, let me just watch it because I haven't really watched any EFL game like that this year. But I know that this finals because both teams want to win at least something. Liverpool wants to win a double. Newcastle hasn't won a cup in so long. So I can imagine this final will be like first team. Everybody will be there and stuff. So I was like, okay, let me just watch it. And honestly, I was very disappointed with Liverpool's performance. Um, I went into that game expecting Liverpool to be the Liverpool of Premier League, like be that dominating Liverpool. But for some reason, it just felt like Newcastle wanted him more. I don't know why. I don't know if it was the same. The Liverpool players were a bit um like relaxed. I don't
But
know. Maybe it's
I
because they
think it's
already have Premier League in
fatigue.
the bag.
Yeah, bro, I think it's fatigue though, because fatigue and a bit of um a little bit of lack of motivation, and it's not only from being that we're much we're very close to winning the Premier League, but I think also from losing to PSG, there's still a bit of that sour taste that we haven't gotten over yet. So, I mean, from the beginning of the game, Newcastle were just on top of Liverpool. We couldn't really create any chances, and I'm starting to see that our midfield is extremely tired. Like Soboslai, I mean, he's still running around, but it's not as effective. McAllister is that one player that I think is just consistent game in game out, because a lot of what he does is around a certain square, but he also chips in goals here and there. But he's doing the job of a number 10, but also works as sort of like our 8 and 6. But for some reason, he's gotten a lot more rest time than the rest of the other two, right? And when you look at Gravenberg, like we love his performances, we enjoy seeing him play, but that level of intensity isn't there anymore, and it's just what our style of play ends up being. I think almost every single season, or usually we see it with club, is the next season, right? So, and I'm also fine with Liverpool just winning the Premier League. I'm honestly fine with that because I don't want a situation where Arne Slot overachieves in the first season, and then we're looking at a situation where next season we're not even hungry for anything, right? So let's say we win the Premier League this season. Next season we should go for the Carling Cup, sorry, the EFL Cup and the FA Cup. So that's really my take on it. Like I'm sad that we're out, but I'm fine with it. I don't think that cup would have done anything more for me this season than just having to win the Premier League. So I'm fine. I'm fine with the outcome of that.
Sorry, I think I was having some issues here. But yeah, I completely agree with that. Like just not overachieving and stuff. I agree with that. In my opinion, man. But still, like I feel like the game for if speaking about this EFL final, I feel like the like Liverpool turned up at the end when it was too much or too little too late. They could have had that intensity earlier, maybe 30 minutes before. He could have made those substitutions and maybe added some drive. But I don't know. I just feel like they just didn't really want it as much. They just felt like it would be a walk in the park, and it wasn't. But it's good to see Newcastle win something. I've not seen them win something,
Mm-hmm.
so it's good to see them win something. So that's like a good thing. But yeah, overall it was just like I'm looking at the stats. It was dominating on the attacking side for Liverpool for Newcastle, but possession was like on more on Liverpool side because
Yeah,
they were defending at the
yeah.
end. But it is what it is, man.
It was a lackluster performance. We didn't deserve to win. Newcastle were way better.
Yeah,
You know, we had corners like the first corner where they scored. Why was McAllister the one marking? Um, Not Lewis Don, the other guy. Burn. He was
Burn.
marking
Yeah,
Burn. Burn is almost double the size of McAllister. Like, and that's not even. I don't say
yeah,
that to be funny, you know.
yeah.
So it was, it was just a very confusing game.
It was a
But
mismatch.
I mean,
Yeah,
I'm okay. I'm okay. Like, I mean, just those two losses were kind of. I don't want to use the word unlucky, but just kind of where we find ourselves this season. You know, we've put in a lot of work, and we're at the point where we're unable to pull through in some of the biggest games that we have to. So I'm fine. I'm fine with it. Just let's just focus now on the Premier League and get done what we need to, because that's all we have to focus on now, anyways. So let's just get that done.
yeah. Speaking of two
Yeah.
games, are you talking about like the Champions League game as well?
Yeah. The Champions League
Yeah,
game, PSG were a much better team in both legs. They also deserve to win. Unfortunately, we put ourselves in a position where we went to penalties, so it was kind of anyone's game to win. But if we're being completely honest, PSG deserved to win that game in both legs. And for some reason, we're shying away from the fact that our performances have been, good, okay. Like for the past maybe 10, 12 games, they've just been, wishy-washy, not sure where to kind of like place, you know, the blame on, but it just hasn't been the same Liverpool that we saw the first 20, 30 games in. The same Liverpool that won every single game in the Champions League, except the last one. We're in a situation where we couldn't score a goal at Anfield against PSG that came out to attack us. So that was honestly that was my most that's probably the most confusing thing for me, being that okay, we know PSG are coming out to attack. They made all this noise. They literally sat out almost 11 players from their first squad during, League One, and they came to Anfield and they won the game in penalties. And I think just one last thing for me in that was I can't understand why we put a player like Darwin Nunes in that situation, because the whole stadium knew that Darwin Nunes was going to miss. Like every single person in that stadium and every Liverpool fan knew that Darwin
yeah,
Nunes, every single person watching that game knew that Darwin Nunes was going to miss.
yeah.
And my issue with situations like that is we have other players that, it could either be a chance for them to, make a name for themselves, or we have other players where, they're just older, more mature, whatever the case may be. They're having a better season than Nunes. That could have taken a penalty, right? And if Nunes had scored that penalty, it would have just been another penalty or another goal. Like that's what Liverpool fans say, that that's his job. He's meant to score that. But in the chance that he missed, which he did, it's now a whole different thing where we're revisiting everything he has done this season, all the mishaps and everything like that. So it's unfortunate that he gets the blame, but we already know what to expect from a player like Darwin Nunes. So unfortunately for him, he's in that situation. But yeah, like I don't know what your thoughts are on the Liverpool game and also other
For
games that were played this week.
Liverpool PSG didn't the penalties. I don't really blame Nunes on it for anything, to be honest, because it wasn't a bad penalty in my opinion. The goalkeeper just played better mind games. Like he knew the ball was going there, he even dove before the ball went. So like he was just ready to catch that ball. Right, so maybe they would have replaced they would have maybe used the better player to score the penalty, maybe. I don't know. I don't know if that would have really done much. In my opinion, I just feel like that goalkeeper was ready that day to at least save one of those penalties. But I didn't really see the Liverpool keeper, you know, trying. Maybe he was trying, but I wasn't. There was no intensity from him to even save one
Yeah.
of those penalties.
Alisson has never been a great penalty
I think
saver.
yeah, and in my opinion, penalties aren't really won by the players that kick the ball. They are really won by the goalkeepers. That's how I see penalties. Like penalties define, sorry, goalkeepers define how penalty shootouts end. As a good example would be like the Real Madrid game as well. That game, people talk, like everyone is talking about the double kick from what's his name now, from Alvarez, but
Alvarez.
I'm like, even if that goal was a goal, there was still someone still missed. Like they will still win. Like it doesn't change the results. The result ended 4-2. So it's two penalties that were not counted. So if one of them was scored, version as a goal, then what about the third one? The other guy that actually missed. Like this, you get what I mean. So it's more
Mm-hmm.
about the goalkeepers rather than even the people that are scoring, right? And both goalkeepers like Courtois and the PSG goalkeeper Donnarumma, they were both on form. They were ready for those penalties and can literally determine if you win the competition or not. You know, and that's just how I feel about that whole thing. So I don't really, I'm not really on the. I will never blame Darwin Nunez for anything, man. He was just giving the you know, it's what it is. You're giving the mantle and
I'm
he
not
stood up.
blaming him. I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying, like in general, I feel like even the coach could have made a better call in that
Yeah,
situation.
I agree. I
I'm
agree
not
with that.
blaming
I agree
Darwin
with that.
Nunes. I don't think we lost
No,
the game
I'm
because of
saying
that.
people
But
are blaming. I'm not saying you're blaming. I'm saying people that are blaming him. Like I wouldn't be on that
Fez,
bandwagon. And also people that are talking about like Alvarez's thing being a FIFA thing. I won't be on that bandwagon as well. If that and that was like the determining penalty, it was like the third penalty. Then maybe I would have been on that bandwagon. But it was like other penalties after that. You guys had the chance to come back or score goals or whatever. But no, so you can't really put your all your blame on that. But it's football; we have to blame something at the end of the day. Like that's part of the sport, so I
mm-hmm.
get that part, right? But
Yeah,
yeah, there were so many interesting games from the last Champions League round. The Liverpool one, as we spoke about, the Real Madrid one was another insane game. Vinicius missing a penalty in during the regular time of the second
yeah.
leg. That was insane. I don't know what he was doing, but that penalty too. Now I'm still wondering what he was aiming for. I don't know why. I think Bellingham had an amazing game in that game. He was really, really fantastic watching him. I don't really watch him much, but watching him that day was really like eye opening. He did some things that were just shocking for me. I think Aston Villa
Why?
also had a
Why are you surprised by Bellingham?
so
Like,
he did some stuff that when like the game is very tight, right? Like game is very serious. Like for example, this Liverpool EFL Cup final. There was a mistake that this guy did that cost the KSR's goal. That 360 roulette that I think it was what's his name now? The Newcastle midfielder was trying to do.
Gimerez.
Gimerez. This guy Bellingham would have done that successfully. Bellingham knows how to do things that are complicated in like the most tense situation. He just like knows how to just make it look
Makes it look
easy.
easy. Yeah, yeah.
It makes it look like a walk in the park. Like this game was 1-1. Things were going to penalties. Anything can happen. But Bellingham was still in control, full control. When he was with the ball, it was very hard to get the ball off him. I think
Confident.
his only issues were like
Hmm.
his passes were not as accurate as they're meant to be. I think that's like his only flaw in his game. His passes are not really accurate. You still have to like run or make like 3 steps to get the ball and stuff. They're not really as pinpoint as the way Modric or KDB would have launched those passes. But on the ball, like it's almost impossible to get him off the ball. He just knows and also control the pace of the game. He's very good at that. And I really saw him do a lot of that against Atletico Thugs because it was not easy, but he did it exceedingly well that game. I think the other game I watched partly, like I watched like the highlights, was Liverpool. I'm sorry, it was the Bayern Munich. They were cousin. It was
Hmm.
just it was just like what's his name now? Company masterclass. He just outplayed Xabi Alonso in every way. First leg and second leg. He didn't even really have. He didn't give them any chance. Like you can look. look at the highlights, you won't really see anything that they played from Leverkusen side, which is very astonishing based on what they did last season and what they've done throughout the season till now. Like just wiping them out, them a chance to score a goal. They ended up with like a red card or something, and you won them 3-0. I think Arsenal's game was also good. The first leg was good. The first leg was boring in my opinion, even if Arsenal was winning by 7 goals. Oh, they won 7-1. Second leg was more entertaining because the other team actually came to play. They didn't just come to sit back and let Arsenal walk over them. They actually came to play. They you know made Raya make some mistakes. They made some Arsenal made some defensive mistakes and they capitalized on those mistakes, which ended up making the game a bit more competitive. I like when teams do that. Like even if you know like you can't win, at least give your fans that paid this away ticket and flight, give them something to watch, give them football still, right? And it was good that they played. They got a draw and ended like 9-2. Aston Villa also was an amazing game. I don't know if you
Yeah,
catch Aston
yeah.
Villa's game. Aston Villa was
No,
good.
I caught it for sure. Yeah,
Just seeing Aston Villa in quarterfinals is also
doesn't make
amazing.
sense.
It doesn't make sense, but it's amazing. But I think it speaks a lot about the manager, and everything that people have said about him. People comparing him to Ateta and all that and all that. It just shows that the guy is good with any team. Technically, he can still carry these teams to top heights in Premier League and also in Europe. That's all he's trying to prove. He doesn't need to be coaching the best team in the country to achieve good things, and that's what he's proving to everyone. So I like that
Yeah,
for him. I've always been on his side, to be fair. I've always
you
liked
have for
every.
sure. When he
Yeah.
was with Arsenal as well, unfortunately, I don't know. I mean, he had a good run with Arsenal, but I don't think they trusted him to give him enough time. But why don't we speak more about Marcus Rashford and Asensio? Like they haven't stopped assisting each other. Like Rashford, I think has like 4, 5, or 6 assists in
Yeah.
his last like 3, 4 games, and Asensio
Yeah.
is on like a goal scoring
He's
tear.
only been
Like
there 2 months.
it's crazy. It's
Yeah,
crazy. I'm not
that's
gonna lie.
that's also another. I don't want to talk about Manu, to be fair. I feel like we've spoken about Manu a lot, but Rashford exceeding is it just shows you a lot about Manu and their current affairs and what they think and their priorities in my opinion. Because in my
Mhm.
own personal opinion, I feel like players come. In my own opinion, players come before coaches, and people might say what they want to say, but I'm paying these players way more money than I'm paying coaches, right? These players have qualities. These players have attributes that
They're the
no
ones
matter
that
how
have the
good this coach
talent. They're
is,
the ones that have the talent.
the ball. Yeah, and no matter how good this coach is, the coach can't play this ball. Like you can have all the tactics in the world, but you can't kick the ball because like we didn't sign you to do that. So I feel like these players would exceed even outside Man U, and then Man U fans will, or Man U as an organization will be regretting and all this and all that. Here, yeah, it is they have with Rashford at the moment that Aston Villa has, but who knows if he wants to come back at the end of the season? Who knows how that's going to play? I don't really think he should go back because if a club should do you the way Man U has done you, just move on with your life and
Yeah,
probably go to
yeah,
Italy or whatever. Like you don't pay, you don't owe any club anything. You're just an employee. Like
definitely.
there's
Yeah,
no need for
yeah.
all of that.
I
Um,
agree. Yeah, but without us staying on this too long, I want us to get into our predictions, right?
yeah,
I know PSG is going to be facing Aston Villa. Madrid are going to be facing Arsenal.
yeah.
Barcelona
Bayern
is
Inter,
facing um, no,
Dortmund,
Barcelona is facing Dortmund and Bayern Inter.
yeah.
I would love to get your take on that, and what do you think would be the most interesting game from your perspective out of all those 4 games?
Honestly, like the best game. I'm an Arsenal fan, so for me, the game I'm watching is the Arsenal
Hmm.
game. That's without a doubt. But in my opinion, the best game to watch should be Bayern Inter because they are like the most recent winners, if anything.
Yeah.
Or I don't know, just Inter is just a more appealing game, in my opinion. Inter is on top form, Bayern is on top form. I would like to see both of them, right? But I won't be able to watch that game because I'm watching Arsenal Real Madrid. Arsenal
Hmm.
Real Madrid is
Hmm.
a good game. It's a very good game to watch, but it could easily sway one way. It could just be a Real Madrid massacre. Like
Mhm.
Mbappe can just go all out, right? But it could also go in a good way where the game is balanced and it probably goes to like extra time on second leg or something.
I like the fact I don't mean to interrupt, but I like the fact that there's sort of enough time to build your tactics against the opposing team, right? And sometimes it works
But
out,
Real,
sometimes it doesn't because there's no practice. There's no practice game, right? So when you get there and you execute whatever strategy or tactic you've planned, it could work out in your favor or it could completely shatter in your face. So we get to
yeah,
see a game where Arsenal should go out there trying to win, because in the chance that they don't, Madrid have been through this a lot of times with a similar approach from Atletico Madrid. If you go there, you say you want to defend, you want to park the bus, you want to do this, that, and the third, it's likely not going to work in your favor because if there's one thing Madrid have, it is a lot of players that can fucking score the ball, right? They
from
have
anywhere.
they have a front four, of of Mbappe, Jude Bellingham, Vinicius, and Rodrigo that can put the ball in the net, and Valverde on an
Yes,
off night
Valverde.
where the goal isn't coming from anywhere, he can hit the ball from anywhere. So if Arsenal are taking an approach of okay, we want to sit back, but I agree with you in that being the most interesting game for sure because that's a game that I think we all want to see, and we've been wanting to see since the likes of Henry playing against Arsenal and stuff like that. So we haven't seen that matchup in quite some time. So it'll be interesting to see for sure.
Yeah, and then for the next day, the Bayern Dortmund Villa PSG.
PSG.
Um, in my opinion, I'll watch the PSG Aston Villa game. That to me might be the more interesting game, even if Barcelona and Dortmund also both quality clubs. Well, I just want to see how far this Villa run is going to go. I like to see what they're going to do against a very entertaining team like PSG. I feel like both teams are very similar in the way they're playing.
Yes.
They're playing very very
Young
attacking
teams.
football.
Exactly. Young
Very
teams,
young.
great
Yeah,
managers, stacked midfield, extremely stacked midfield, skilled wingers. They brought on Asensio and they brought on the ex
Rashford,
Dortmund player. No, Rashford and the ex Dortmund player as well.
Duran.
No, not Duran. Not Duran. Duran
Oh,
is now
Rogers.
with no, no,
Al
no. They
Nassr.
brought in a player from Dortmund. Um
Oh, what's his name? Martin. Oh
yes, yes, yes,
no,
yes, yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
Martin, yeah, Martin. Yeah. Marlon, yeah, Marlon,
Marlon,
Marlon.
yeah,
Yeah,
Marlon. So Marlon is going to be playing against his former. Is he allowed to play?
yeah, definitely.
Okay,
But no,
okay.
no, that's against. He's playing. They're playing against PSG, so he has
Oh,
no reason to not play.
sorry. They're playing against
Yeah,
PSG. Sorry, but it was just to see him. They have a very strong attacking squad, so it'll be interesting to see how that game plays out. And I know PSG are having a really good season, but I can't say for sure that PSG would win that game. And
yeah.
for Barcelona versus Dortmund on the other end, I can almost guarantee that Barcelona would win that game. So
Because last year Dortmund went to the finals. We all don't remember how they did it, but they did it. So I don't know if they're about to play the same kind of thing again this year. That's why I'm scared of Dortmund. I've always been scared of Dortmund for that thing. They always like to do underdog way to the
mhm,
finals.
mhm,
So I
mhm.
don't know if they might do it again. I think Barcelona at the moment are currently just a better team. Honestly, it would be amazing to see a Real Madrid Barcelona final.
For sure.
It's most
But
likely going to happen.
I don't think we get. Do we get that?
Yeah,
Because
the trees are arranged that way.
oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
So
true.
if Madrid wins Arsenal and Madrid also wins Bayern, that means and Dortmund beats Dortmund and sorry, Barcelona beats Dortmund and Barcelona will be PSG or Aston Villa or whoever wins in that one. They'll probably make it to the finals, and it's going to be on the classical finals. That was a dream of every Madrid or Barca fan. But honestly, I'm just tired of Madrid winning this thing. I don't know how you feel about that.
Same,
I'm really
same.
tired
No,
about
no,
Madrid
no.
winning
I
this
feel,
thing.
bro. Liverpool lost to Madrid twice in the finals. I am the one person in the world that doesn't want to see Madrid succeed. Believe me. Believe me.
I'm just tired. Even if they
Believe
beat
me.
Arsenal, I just feel the next person to just beat them because this is Champions League. This is not Madrid's league. Like,
And
let other
I
people
I
win.
needed to hurt. Who beat Madrid last season? That was that Man City. No, it wasn't Man City.
Which last season?
Bellingham won last season. The season before, the one that Man City won.
Man City beat Madrid now.
Oh yeah, that's true. They beat them by a mile actually.
I don't really
Wait,
know. I
was
can't
that last
recall.
season? That was the season before, right?
No, 2 seasons ago they won. Madrid are the current champions.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, and then City won the season before that,
Yeah,
and then Inter won it when?
Inter played City in the final.
Oh
Rodrigo,
yeah,
Rodri's shot that scored.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So Inter haven't won it then. In
Inter
recent times, I mean.
recently, but they won in like 2010, right? And that's just how I'm looking
Okay.
at it. Arsenal has not won it ever. Real Madrid have won it. Dortmund hasn't won it probably in like 30 years. Barcelona have won it. PSG haven't won it ever. Aston Villa has won it like 100 years ago. So the most recent winners is Bayern and Inter Milan. One won
But
2013, the other one won
but
2010.
what are the odds? What are the odds that Arsenal win their first ever or PSG wins their first ever one?
Bro, the
And
odds are very low.
even crazier, I think PSG winning without stacking up
Mbappe will be
players, would be so
no,
interesting.
no. I don't. I
So
don't see. I was about to tweet something like last week. Somehow,
no,
some way, PSG
not to tweet yet.
wins this Champions League. Mbappe is going to go into depression, bro.
No, he's he's going to win with Madrid at some point. So
hopefully, hopefully, man.
yeah,
But yeah, it will be exciting to see another team win. Like Arsenal, PSG, maybe Dortmund. It'll be exciting to see any of those teams win. Even Real Madrid. No, sorry, even Bayern or Barcelona. I haven't just seen a team. I'm just tired of the Real Madrid dominance. So
yeah,
anyone else, I'm actually open to seeing anyone else win at this point.
for
It is what
sure.
it is,
No, I
man.
hear that. But yes, I think we can round things up there. I think next, we wanted to discuss a bit more about the NBA going into the playoffs and stuff like that. But you guys should look out for that episode. Um,
Yeah,
should be coming very, very soon. And yeah, let us know your thoughts on the previous games. Who do you think is going to make it to the semifinals? What team are you rooting for? And yeah, we'll catch you guys in the next episode.
yeah. Thanks.